the breach, Jet, Omen, Raze, Sova is tried and true for Faze. They've been loving running that. Raucous, trying to build a bit of a ruckus here. Starting off with that shorty nice and close, pushed up on A. And they're going to have some good traps behind them. We'll see. I think it's going to be that Dapper Lurk. And he'll be able to notify them. But yeah, Faze moving together here. Or I should say Sentinels as they move up. And it's going to be Insight with that dash. Tens will start them off.
Yeah, it's just going to be a straight-up retake. I think Dapper, as you said, in a position to really set this sideways. But if you're Faze, you kind of... You're sniffing some of it out, right? Like you're the sniffer. Making sure my...
Hello,
Gosh.
goodbye.
Good night. Baby bait drops. There's the first kill in favor of Sentinels. Great use of utility here as we see Faze. We talked about the utility, their ability to use that to get onto the site. There's a chance for it. But Tens with the ghost, already good for 2. Looking for another rocket, trades it out. Sick. Trading that back. Corey's left alone, and he's not around for long. What a round by Sentinels.
There's so much control there, a lot of patience. Some, obviously, a lot of them were in the site, so the post plant just becomes a flurry of everybody shooting back and forth. But the members that were hiding there for Sentinels, to make sure there were a few left alive to continue to defend. Just smart play overall. Sometimes you got to throw bodies at the problem. Sometimes you got to wait, and they did a little both there.
And Riv, the chaos that we were talking about in the last map, how Faze seemed to thrive there. Again, that's another one that goes in favor of Sentinels. A bit of a different look here, as they're going to show a little towards A. I like this push from Marv. Nice to take some of that space. Is pushed back. I mean, at this point, Faze should be able to pull off at least a little bit and lean towards A, knowing all of the noise that's been made.
Zoms with orb control over on C as the team starts to make up ground. Sick here on the bonus. Dapper's going to pick 2 up with the Spectre, possibly a 3rd as Corey gets that. No possibility to grab that Spectre, though, Doug. As a few bits of econ damage get done to Sentinels, it's Baby Bay left to see what he can do.
Yeah, against 4 Spectres, I mean, I guess it's Baby Bay, right? So you don't... Yeah, I guess you can't count him out here. But, you know, we saw Faze on the... We've talked about their utility, right? But Sentinels and their use of utility there, using the Recon Dart from Shazam in conjunction with the Hot Hands from Sick to clear out the player that was playing in A short and really, like, tee up a free kill, right? Like, you can't stand in that corner because of the Hot Hands. And then you have the ping exposing where he is. It was easy.
Yep. Quick plays, quick info plays. Really, it's awesome to see the teams rather adjust, make it happen, and then go back to exactly what they were running without a hitch. It's going to be a drone push up C here, and this is what I said they might be doing. Identify where an operator might be. Don't have to deal with that yet, obviously, but the death ball Sentinels may want to run together on these sides. Baby Bay grabs 1 and 2.
Down C.
Baby Bay drops. Great response from Sick. But they made a lot of noise towards C. They are able to pick up the spike. I was worried about that. They're going to rotate off. But again, Riv, Marv has made his way up A long, back into attacker spawn. Right? So that's going to cut off any bit of rotation coming through. They almost have to commit to C here.
The trap could give them a false sense of security. That's one thing that happens with it. They are still going to be very wary of what's going on. Yeah, they know. Quick peeks to the left, and they're going to have to check it one more time. Right, rather, as Sick is able to drop Marv. Now it's a mad rush to see what they can accomplish before finding another member.
And you see
Faze
Faze.
squad.
You see Faze. They sent Raucous, but they left 2. Right, expecting Sentinels to go back to see where they were at the scene of the crime just a few moments ago. But Raucous is going to get a ton of info here. I love that shoot. Covers the noise.
Wow.
Not expected at all. Excellent play by Raucous.
Limping over there, doing what he can after a big crunch. Great hide on the phantom shots. And good push by the team as well. They synergized that retake and made sure it was not a problem. Faze stopped the bleeding much earlier here. And we'll see what they can continue to do on the defensive side of Haven. Starting off on what is considered the harder side due to the fact that as you're on attack, you get to decide where your distribution of players is.
Right.
That's always the advantage.
Now, Riv, tell me this. If you're playing and you see a team continually takes space away, like we saw Marv do there, where he was back in defender spawn. Yeah, they knew it was there. But what does that do to your mentality as you call out the map?
Well, you're already wanting to be able to get back and identify that you have lost that area, right? The trip's supposed to be there for the push forward into the site, so then it can be used as a return on investment to know the big flank is coming. When you have to work back through it, it's like you don't have the info. So it makes you play much different in that situation, and you're basically going off of feel and who you see.
Corey using the satchel charge there to try to clear out the cam. It's a slightly different spot. Baby Bay with the Blade Storm takes care of Sick early on. Seems like for Sentinels, they should be getting a good bit of info on C.
Yeah.
Might try to expose that potentially with the hit up garage as well, but much like we saw a few rounds ago, Dapper's going to be playing back in that spot across the middle of the map.
Corey in a good spot. They're making sure they can keep themselves a little pushed up to get the info. So no one garage yet. They know everything that's happening as they hear the spike getting planted is going to be in C so far. And you see Sentinels wanting to kind of clear garage with a 2 team. They're waiting.
Wait, I love this from Faze. Rave Zachary shows up and he aftershocks right behind that box, understanding that's what the plant was. That delays the plant. Now the spike goes down, but at this point Faze has arrived. Corey's already good for 310s with a filthy flick in a 1v3. Got the op, but he's gonna get pinched in from all sorts of angles. Rockus is gonna drop him. Faze tie us up at 2 apiece.
Such a big round from Corey. About to get pincered from both sides. Takes an early peek, figuring, you know, it's been way too long. Something's not right here. As we're trying to plant, there must be some aggression. Boom. And then able to trade a few more. Absolute stellar play from him to help this round out. And then a little damage to 10s, and there's the flank coming in from Rockus.
And I like how Faze are playing this, right? Like I mentioned in the previous round, they're reading some of how Sentinels like to play. So a much stronger performance from Faze, at least early on Haven, relative to what we saw in Icebox. But now Sentinels looking to dial up a little something towards A. You heard the Blade Storm has been used. And we're seeing a lot of that early, the early fault line from Zachary. Down, fighting for A lobby control. They're gonna full
There's
send.
the flash.
Shadows traveling.
Paranoia in a smoke, gonna buy some time. As it looks like Sentinels are reconsidering potentially going towards a long or just peeling off. They're not finding what they want, but that pick changes everything. The neural theft is going to be used as well. Here we go. Showstopper being used from Corey in responses. No, 10 with the Blade Storm. Good for one in a second as he rips Corey and Rockus down. That's going to give him access to the site. The Spike's got to hurry, though. They do have the numbers advantage. They should be able to assume post plants and get the spike down. Now it's going to be Faze in a 2v4. No Rolling Thunder. No Blade Storm. An op, yes. But this is where you kind of wonder, do you go for it? Do you save? It looks like they don't want to have anything to do with the rest of this round.
If you had Rockus, maybe. Hunter's Fury is there, and you need the find and the dart to get back into the site. They'll be doing a little hunting here. Shazam comes around the outside. He's rocking his Sheriff, but that was a heck of a round from Shazam, or from certain Thames, I'm sorry. Daggers out, flying through, and it's one of the things that we haven't touched on much. I'm sure it's been talked about, but that transition of Tens being able to switch to Reyna, Shazam going back to Jet, having the versatility of agent switch between those two, and such impact agents, right? You know, they can just flow between them, and that's such a dangerous thing that Sentinels bring to the table.
Riv, it was against 100 Thieves on Ascent, where we saw a moment where 100 Thieves might be able to get back into the game when they were on the attack. Asuna uses the Showstopper from Market to get onto B, and Tench drops him with one bullet of the Vandal, and he's done that consistently, so you're seeing some of the Tense effect, right? When it seems like they have an opportunity to crack the side open, to do something that's going to really change the pace of the round, Tense is there, comes up huge in moments like that, but I love this aggression, the flash, Baby Bay going right down C long, not going to spot anyone, but you already feel some of that pressure, and they're doing the same thing down A long as well. This is textbook Faze, right? Pinching in from both sides, forcing them one way, nice sidestep from Zachary, and he gets the kill as well.
You said it right there, textbook. You make the opponent sweat right off the bat. The flawless from Faze. A little bit back online there, and I think the fans are happy to see that.
Man, and in that moment, it's so difficult to really respond, right? You know that they're running down C long. They've also taken A long as well. You don't really have a ton as far as options go, and they even had the wherewithal to flash out, so Zachary can't hit the op, and it's just beautifully sidestep, and he delivers a shot. Faze played that round very well.
I mean, you look at what that style creates, right? Faze always has you on the major look. They look for Baby Bay. Zachary capitalizes on the off shot down C. You're completely bewildered because their Faze is just firing on all cylinders for that round, and it hasn't been expected. Sick, able to drop 2. Beautiful, run it back as he starts. And we'll see Tens now pushing through, hopping through the window just to get that frag.
From the window to the wall, he uses the Hunter's Fury and the run it back at the same time, and they stack that together. That allows him to get in and really blow everything up, right? Faze is just down to 2 members left in a 2v5. We talked, I know I mentioned this earlier, Riv, but we talk about how Faze stack utility and ultimate so well. Sentinels just gave him a taste of their own medicine.
Flawless. Coming from the other side now, as Sentinels say. We got that same power in the bag. A lot of money on the side of the Faze clan. You can see Baby Bay sitting on a big chunk of change there. This play from Sick during, like you said, during that distraction of the Hunter's Fury is what we were talking about earlier, in that combination of utility. It's so great to see, and honestly, I think it's like at just a starting level. There's so much to min-max about utility usage and what choke points can be used from what angles and during rotation. Yeah, cannot wait. This game has so much to grow, and it's going to be amazing. Let's see what we have here coming into round 8, 4-3, as Haven is much closer than game 1.
Marv taking a good bit of no way. No way. The drone doesn't catch him. And Marv can go in aggressively. Now the jig's up, and Shazam responds beautifully by taking Marv out.
Just not, it didn't even hesitate. Yeah. Bow away, takes a shot. Zoms from the shadows. Rockus still having that Hunter's Fury. We'll see how they use it here.
Great flash. Corey with the swing. Dapper with an even better one. He dispatches him. They're going to use from the shadows to get into the back of B. Now Sentinels look to expose some of that. Keep a close eye on Zoms. How much damage can he do to prevent the rotate in? Excellent use of the aftershock, but for Zachary, just a hair too late. He gets the kill, but the spike goes down. Zachary has that Rolling Thunder. Get back onto the site, but the thing is, you've got Tens back in window with an operator, and that makes it so difficult to get in. Cloudburst to make him think twice about it. Six with the curveball, flashing out as they try to push forward. There's that Rolling Thunder that we talked about. Six once again with the flash. He drops. Tens has to have high impact here, but Baby Bay pushes in aggressively, right? They're going to use the fault line. They're going to push Tens off. I don't know that Tens can do anything about it here. The Hunter's Fury is going to be used to push back Shazam, and I don't know that
they're on it.
Shazam has time.
Oh my word. Red Bull clutch coming through. Honestly, I'd be pulling my hair out if I was Faze there. It's just like, fight me, do it. So much utility coming over. Tens just not peeking. Oh my word. And Tens is the guy to peek. He's the guy that's always going to peek, and he just holds the line. They play cat and mouse so well. Sentinels coming up with that round.
Again, to have the wherewithal to delay just long enough.
Yeah.
To have the spike go off. Yeah, and then Zachary dying there too certainly doesn't feel good. Very well played from Sentinels. Faze at a 2-round deficit, showing some of that early look towards A lobby control again. Rockus going in, Baby Bay with the op. That is not an option on the map for Sentinels at this time.
Great job sourcing out where Sentinels could be headed this round. Rockus pushing up right away. Faze changing their game a little bit here. Not changing it, going back to a little bit more with confidence. They're going to leave Baby Bay pushed up. Bladestorm could become useful here in this round as they start to set up for what might be a C hit, and they're calling it correctly for now.
No ultimates online. There is still an operator in the hands of Tens. Paranoia is going to come out. It's going to push a couple of members back. And I love this. They invest the utility and they pull right off. Oh, man. Baby Bay was waiting for that the entire time. It was very similar to what we saw from Marv in the defender spawn, but this time it was Baby Bay with the knock down a short. Now they know a short's not an option. They don't want to go C long because of what they just did over there. That's going to force them into B.
Sentinels heading into B. Name a more iconic couple, honestly. They get themselves in, and whether it's the dash and plant round or it's the late B round. They have such good cover on this. Already pushed up through A. Look at these positions, Doug.
Zoms is in trouble. Zoms is in trouble. He's gonna get pinched off. Rockus is on the flank. Shazam was on one as well. I mentioned he was in trouble, but the man steps up again. Drops two on the side of Faze. Tens is up. Continues to sing. Rockus is left alone.
Bullseye.
Beautiful shot. Looking for the econ hits here. Almost gets the operator out. Does he want it again? Tens did, and Six gonna trade. Maybe they can run back and grab it, but the money's good for Sentinels. They should be able to purchase another operator if they need it. A 6-3 here. Sentinels start to pull away from Faze on Haven.
Man, and again, Zoms was he was in a really precarious spot here, right? Because you're having that push in from Garage. Rockus was around from the attacker spawn again, and he was kind of stuck there, right? But he just shows nobody puts Zoms in a corner, and he's gonna punch his way right through. Huge impact kills to open up the round.
And this makes me wonder, Doug. This makes me wonder what homework Shazam did to know that after the beginning of the round, B is not something that is covered by Faze. Maybe that one was triggered by Baby Bay being pushed up so far on A that they knew the rotations would be flexed out a little bit from the middle of the map, and they didn't see anything there. Shazam again. You got to be kidding me right now. Straight through that trap. Baby Bay's creating a little bit of pressure, and this is exactly what Faze needs to do. No round can just be textbook for Sentinels right now. Faze has to put the pressure on, and Sentinels is adding even more pressure. They say, ante up, we're going to raise the stakes.
I love that from Baby Bay, understanding there was pressure coming from Sentinels towards C. He takes that space away with the Blade Storm, does a little bit of damage, but then they're just able to push right through. Look at Tens, man, already good for one. He's going to dash away, preserve his life. Just a sliver of health. Exactly, and the flash is there, and the flash doesn't matter. Sentinels continue to expose different areas of the sites. They're doing it in a myriad of different ways, and they look good on attack.
Just really have something different for each round, Doug. Like, we're not seeing the same thing. This isn't a utility out, spam through utility, find a frag, and make our way somewhere. They're getting Faze to move around in positions that are advantageous for then the two of Sentinels to swing, finding somewhere and getting the intel on Baby Bay or X-Agent. And they're really playing a cerebral game that is not allowing Faze to play their rush strat.
Dial it up again. Baby Bay dashing down with the flash. Sick. Responds with a curveball of his own and the paranoia. You imagine that's going to go into the Ultor is going to go into the hands of Sick to bring the run it back online. Meanwhile, the rest of Sentinel is very comfortable right now, just kind of feeling things out, seeing what Faze throw their way before they make a decision.
Like you mentioned, the run it back is there. One of the best places for that is Garage, right? Close impact, a lot of ground can be gained immediately, but anywhere is good, especially if you can get him all the way down short. Pushed up here from Marv. He's going to be trying to hide from this drone. And see, this has not been cleared. A little bit of round was done, or a little bit of default was done, so drone is definitely necessary. Run it back there from short. We'll see what they can do.
Oh, excellent use of the flash. He has to wait off, and then he uses the from the shadows to get to safety. Meanwhile, Rockus, good to take care of Tens. Excellent response to the run it back. Doesn't provide a whole lot of value. As kills continue, drop left and right. Marv, who managed to stay alive early on, is good for 2 at the end to give the numbers advantage to Faze. Now Shazam is in a 1v2. He doesn't have a Hunter's Fury. Does have the spike. But that shock dart there should give away some position. The angle's held by Marv. 3 on the round, and again, cannot stress the importance of the from the shadows in the face of the showstopper to preserve his life and be the impact maker at the end of the round.
Yeah. We're really making that one work. Rockus here knows that nobody else is coming in the sight. Able to get that frag. Great mental play to just stick on to that jet, and then the rest of the round was such a flurry. Like you said, Marv in the back of the site, able to grab a 3K against all odds and all that utility in front of him. And we will see what FaZe can continue to do. Feeling a bit of a groove here as they get themselves another round, maybe a 7-5 first half.
And Raucus is going to have the Hunter's Fury as well. You hear Tens using the Blade Storm early on, has an operator
Good peek.
in tow. I love the peek, and you can tell early on. I don't know if the Spike's going to commit that way, but they certainly want to cause some damage across the middle of the map. Baby Bay turns away. It wasn't a flash, but Tens dashes in with that Blade Storm that we mentioned, taking care of one. He's going to get tagged up, has to step away, and now the Spike starts to rotate elsewhere.
See what kind of shots they can get from Garage here. It does look like they've regained the site on B. Wow. They have a 4 retake on A, so they're not worried about it. Shazam drops Corey. Make that 3 now, Doug, as Zachary answers back on Shazam.
That was only good for one. A 2v2 here. There's a Hunter's Fury coming out of Rockets, and the Spike doesn't go down.
Huge.
Marv shows up at the right time, too, to get the last kill on Zombs. Excellent response from FaZe. 7-5 at half.
Rockets showing up to the party there just as Sentinels felt like they were going to be able to capitalize on another round. He says, nope. FaZe isn't going down that easy. Brings it back up to 7-5. And it's looking much better than that first half. This one is selected by Sentinels, so FaZe is trying to give them a taste of their own medicine on their pick.
Now Sentinels on the defensive side of the map here. We mentioned at the beginning the attackers generally have a bit of a leg up because you can be far more intentional about where you want to invest your resources, right? You can do a little pulling of the string, make them think twice about where you want to go, and then commit somewhere. FaZe is also historically very good on the attacking half of most maps, really. This is where they shine. Again, this is where Zachary really is able to open up sights and allow Baby Bay and Marv to do what they do.
So this is either a full hit towards B, or maybe they go back to A on this. It looks like they're committing a lot of utility to C. It's wherever Baby Bay can keep the angles pretty close here. He actually did not go for the shorty, as I misread that, but he's still trying to get as close as possible right away. Looking for cameras everywhere. It might be here, it might be there. Could have hit it. Got him.
And look at where both Corey and Raucus are for FaZe. Right? They're so concerned about this flank through the middle of the map that they back off. Meanwhile, the remaining members of FaZe, are on the site. The paranoia is going to come out. Sentinels have to respect it. They've already dropped Zombs, and they've dropped Tens. But Sick, the guy who was the hero on this map last time around, coming up big. Dapper, good for one as well. What a response from Sentinels. You've got to be kidding me.
Dapper's patience and Sentinels comms. Dapper's just sitting there. Okay, 2 site, perfect. There's 1, probably a rotator. Here's him coming in, and then the pressure he creates after taking out Corey is enough to get the round. It just seems like they're in the right place at the right time right now, and Sentinels cannot find a way around that. Add that on to the aim being on, the operator getting under the skin of FaZe, and Sentinels is making a pretty good case for themselves here.
A judge in the hands of Tens. Now the question is, does he stay disciplined and just hold a tight angle? Or does he full send into what FaZe has cooking? Meanwhile, for FaZe, you see they don't force up. They seldom do. As it looks like they try to expose some across the middle of the map. Very similar to what we saw in the last round, Riv, where they're going to try to work their way in through Garage. Marv plays back on C. And then if that's safe, they work their way in. The one difference is... Baby Bay is not aggressively taking as much space as he was before.
And you see Raucus right now always checking his back, making sure. So he's got big flank here. Nothing on C, though, so could start to creep around. We may see the team start to put a little bit of priority onto that.
Tens, good for one.
Oof.
That's all it was. Meanwhile, Sick going in aggressive. He gets another one, but he gets traded out as Pulse continue to drop left and right, back and forth as Marv drops as well. Numbers advantage very quickly goes in favor of Sentinels as Raucus is left alone.
Wow.
He doesn't have the spike, right? That's so brutal. He's going to have to work his way in, and he cannot. Dapper sniffs out where the remaining player of FaZe was to get Sentinels to 9.
All right, FaZe. Start grabbing the rounds back here. We'll see what they can do. Like I said, I thought Haven might give them the opportunity to be able to toy with Sentinels a little bit more. That was the round advantage. Not round advantage, those are the rounds they were starting to get on Icebox. Here it's going to be A. depending on the utility, there is a Sova lineup coming in, so it looks like that will be a committal. Kills going down may cause them to stop here, but this could be the phase we're looking for.
Revealing area.
Early breach utility pushing Shazam in. Zom's back in conjunction with the dart. Faze happy to really take that space away to hold W10s once again on the flank with the judge. Baby Bay dashes into a smoke and they're able to respond so beautifully. Riv, this is a judge and specters, right? Into full rifles. Faze is just down to 2. You hold the judge forward. Corey takes care of him, but Dapper's there on the other side to take care of the last one. Raucous left alone, not able to keep up with the tracing. 29 health left. And the dream looks like it's very quickly going to turn into a nightmare as Sentinels try to hunt him down and get themselves to 10. A great response here. And Riv, money is so big for Sentinels here.
Absolutely. And that round, they've been playing towards that A side just to start. Not many rounds here, but then flexing it around. They had 2, as we see Rockets go down, 2 behind default box. Baby Bay was the only one in there expecting to see 1. So both sides of default were covered. That strat was covered by Sentinels.
Yeah.
Baby Bay usually gets a 1-person trade there. Everybody else is in, but without being able to clear the same distance as Jet, he finds himself versus 2, and Sentinels is ready to hold the site, already numbers up.
And you start to worry for Faze here. Once again, they're on a pistol. Meanwhile, Sentinels have rifles. They also have the run it back in the hands of Sick. We know how impactful of an ultimate that can be, especially in his hands. Looks like he might consider dropping that bad boy, but opting against it early on as Faze try to feel things out.
Pushing out here. Faze with great sheriffs on their side. Easily could take a few heads of the Sentinel squad off here and start to do some damage to that money and get some ground. Plant would be huge. And they feel like A might be the way to go. It is one of the easier sites to hold. You can avoid all of these Sova utility coming in, right? You have those 2 choke points and a pretty easy hold for 1 person in that A quadrant near Garden. So it looks like they feel comfortable here. They're also, we see Faze a lot being able to execute on A and just overrun a team. See what we can do here as they're sourcing out where the players of Sentinels are before they choose where to go.
Oh no. So they call enough they raise enough noise to pull them over to A while they start to rotate off. And that my oh no was because you saw Sentinels, specifically Dapper and Shazam, they took up across the middle of the map, right? So they were set up for a pinch there, but as soon as that noise comes up, again, Faze rotate out, Sentinels rotate forward towards A, and now that really resets the map, gives Faze a lot more room to work with.
These are the rounds from Faze that we saw on Icebox that got them a little bit of an advantage. Baby Bay with a quick classic with cheese all the way towards spawn there, Doug, and it looks like they'll have a decent post plant.
Right here. And the Blade Storm is online for Baby Bay, right? So there's a chance for something here. There's that run it back, and it instantly drops. Baby Bay from up top, he gets 1, not able to get a second. Shazam intends, answer the call for Sentinels. Corey tries to stay alive on this corner of the site. He's got his sheriff. He's got a couple of blind shots. He's good for 1. A thrifty round win as Corey goes absolutely nuts for Faze.
The patience of Corey. Oh my word. You know, him and Baby Bay are talked about quite a bit, and there is a reason. The opening to get in here, a few more, and Corey just steadfast. 1-2, and to the chest at 10 to give that one a 10-6 scoreline.
You even saw him there hesitate for just a moment, right? Like, who is that?
I think it's because Zachary was in such a close position, and your mind goes through, that can't be them. Oh,
yeah.
Wait, it is.
Yep. And fortunately for him, Tens was not any quicker to the draw as he drops ultimates, 2 ultimates in the hands of Faze. They've got the From the Shadows and the Hunter's Fury. Meanwhile, for Sentinels, they're sitting pretty as well with a couple of their own. They're not sending anything aggressive. I like this from Sentinels, right? Like, Faze, after they've taken that last round, let's just wait things out, right? Like, let's see where they show, and then we apply.
I like it. I like it so much better because Sentinels are a team that will play retake. I say that I'm a broken record when I say it, especially on things like Bind. You'll see the traps by Dapper put in the site, and they're 2 in showers, 3 on B. So they come back fully with a bit of a pincer. So like we just saw there, they're more than happy to go back into C. So the longer round might play in favor of FaZe if they can get Sentinels to get in that position to retake A, is what we're currently looking at on the minimap.
Here's a flash.
Sorry, bro.
Nice shots from
30
Sick
seconds
again,
left.
man. Against 100 Thieves, plus 18 across 2 maps. Right, and he seems to be putting up equally as impressive of a performance.
right.
Faze gonna dash into A. Here's that retake on A that you talked about, Riv. Keep an eye on Shazam. There it is, the Hunter's Fury once again with 10s as he's good for 2, looking for more. The Blade Storm still online, pushing his way through the smoke, and then he whips out a little bit of spice to keep back the Bucky, making him think twice about it. And with that in mind, there's really no way through. Sentinels take the site back. They get the defuse in the hands of Sick. A flawless round from Sentinels and a statement made again.
Absurd. And there, that shows you the confidence of Sentinels in a retake position. Especially, I say this too, with the amount of people alive and the utility on the attacking team, and the amount of utility available on the defending side, there's a high chance that utility is going to have a return on investment. You're going to find somebody hiding in a corner. That site is stacked with opponents. And Sentinels knows that. When they activate a retake, they are damn sure of where the utility is going and who's checking what angle.
And he's keeping with the Bucky. Meanwhile, for FaZe, they've got the showstopper in the hands of Corey, and they have a Hunter's Fury of their own. Let's see what they dial up here. We haven't seen that hot heavy yet. What we have seen from that is from Sentinels, and here
start.
the aggression gets punished.
Nice trades there. FaZe feeling confident to start some of these shots themselves. A little bit of a dash. Oh, don't say it so. Marv going down to 11 on that one. They're going to be all right, though, as he comes up with that frag. Always tough to shoot somebody who you don't know what their actual movement is. Then they're going to dash away. A little bit of funny business there. And we'll see what Dapper can do here. Phantom could get a few frags out.
Potentially. But I mean, you kind of...
It's going to be tough.
Yeah. Yes. Tough.
I mean, he does have Cammy, so he can at least know where he may potentially find someone to fight.
He's going to get some info, right? Like that tap there should give him some... And then again, you know, the more we talk about this, the more maybe, right? But then, okay, the maybe's gone, right? Zachary just getting that Rolling Thunder there. Presume they don't want to have to use it in a 1v4. That's obviously not the most bang for buck. But if they have to, they do have a lot of those tools available. You already see, look at how Raucus is playing off the site, right? Just in case things go really sideways. Corey as well, kind of waiting things out, and Dapper's just gonna continue to buy his time, hopefully stay alive, carry that weapon into the next round. So for FaZe, we're starting to see some things work, right? They're able to get onto the site, and honestly, it seems to work best. it seems to work best when Sentinels don't have some of their ultimates online, right? Because when it's been Shazam with the Hunter's Fury and Tens with the Blade Storm, they get whatever the heck they want.
Yeah. A big round there, Doug. 11-7. And we'll see some purchases here. That's going to be full util on the side of Sentinels. There's the operator coming in for 10s this time. I saw it on Shazam last map on Icebox. FaZe is going to be going into the purchase side as well. We do have 3 ultimates ready, 3 away for Baby Bay.
Yo, a bit of a different look here from Sentinels on defense. They're stacking A, right? They have 2 there, and they're going to have 10s around as well. Sick looking like he's going to try to play. Might get it. All right, we'll see here. Rocket's using that Hunter's Fury to get some of that space, and with that, FaZe are able to take A long.
Yeah.
And push Sentinels back.
Nice attempt there. We often see that used to kind of choke off a defender spawn, make sure the Hunter's Fury is causing chaos and a little bit of displacement of your enemy. Not a lot of FaZe members pushed up there. It kind of was just like a tag and frag, if you will. If they hit somebody, they're moving in. So far, though, they're going to switch it up, and they're going to start playing back to the other side of the site. Again, we said this should favor Sentinels with the way... I'm sorry, FaZe, with the way Sentinels moves around throughout the mid game. It looks like they're actually playing a pretty steady 2-1-2 though, as we finally getting Shazam to rotate out along with Tens.
Oh man,
And there's the A again.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful because Corey was there the entire
Wow, by
time.
Faze.
Right, like Corey never left. He was able to get info, understanding that nobody was pushing their way in.
So smart.
After all of the noise is cut, they're going to pull off.
Everyone's at C.
Well, and the thing is here for Sentinels is that they are going to be able to fully retake as 5, right? They don't have some of the tools that have proven to be so effective in the past, but they are going to be able to retake as 5. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I also want to keep an eye on some of the post planes from Faze. Zachary with the Rolling Thunder, he can play back or he can go in aggressive, understanding as soon as he gets a tell on where Sentinels are coming from, he can push that back and buy time.
I love these retakes. 5v5 spike planted. You hardly ever see this. And you get to see how the util is perfectly used to retake the site.
Oh, Sick gets a kill, and that's what he needs to get the rolling, or excuse me, to run it back. Hens with the operator gets one. Sick once again, showing the efficacy of that ultimate. The spike is going to start to get abused. Dapper sticking on it. Zombs continues to stick the matter to Faze. Sentinels are on map point, a flawless round.
Defuse the spike. Match point.
Doug, that is absurd. Absolutely absurd, the execution Sentinels is putting forth. Let's just watch this again. The smoke's out immediately, and it just causes so much chaos.
And again, it was sick, Riv, because even before he has the run it back online, dropping down, he does two things that are insane for the round. Drops down, gets the kill onto Zachary, right? That's great. But then he also negates the Rolling Thunder, right? He was channeling it up. They waited to see where that aggression was coming from. It comes offline, and then from that point on, it was all Sentinels all day. Faze
My word.
looking to stay alive here, looking to avoid a trip down to the loser's bracket. To the lower bracket, excuse me, and they don't have ideal weaponry, Riv. This does not look good if you're Faze.
Honestly, I would be terrified if I had to face Sentinels here on out. Faze is still Faze. They're a team to be reckoned with. Sentinels, however, just really feeling the vibe today. Marv looking to keep the team alive here. The 4v3, Doug. The possibilities there as Corey comes up big.
Yeah, Faze in a real pretty spot here. They've been able to upgrade a couple of weapons as well, so now it's just Zachary, who's still got a sheriff.
Wow,
But
Shaz.
Shazam and Tens in a 2v3. He has the op, but that's all he's really got here. And the other problem is, Riv, they're on the opposite side of the map. Zachary's going to be able to get the spike down, and it's going to be a bit of what we saw last time, right? They still have that Rolling Thunder. They still are in a decent position here, but Sentinels don't have the same firepower to retake A that they did previously.
So B or C to A has been the play now for Faze. They're figuring out Sentinels, and like I said, it's not like Sentinels is falling for this strat every time. They're happy for the retake, and that's what Faze just has to play off of. They have to be more sure that they're going to be able to snuff Tens as soon as he gets in, even if he's dashing into your face with the operator like it's a damn shotgun. Shazam and the rest of the team trying to do blind and find with the utility they have, because Sentinels is not coming back in with grenades. They're not throwing a bunch of utility that's going to do damage. That's the blind and find retake, and it's super effective if used right.
And in that instance, they did not have, as you said, some of those tools that are insanely effective when used correctly to take the site back.
Yeah.
That's going to get Faze to 8.
Great job by Faze.
Yeah, Riv, you've got to play perfect Valorant here the rest of the way.
And
just
I
to
mean,
get
that's
to
what we've
overtime.
seen from them, right? They have been undefeated up until this point.
That's true. Very, very true for Sentinels. An operator still in the hands of Tens. Rifles the rest of the way. No early aggression. Really from either squad. Understanding that the moment, understanding how tense this is. Sick. My gosh!
What do you do? What do you play against? Your strat just got picked apart once. It's going to be the plant mid. I still like this from Faze, because if you act that fast, Sentinels is going to think they have you on the back foot. So you quickly planning, they now have to react. And Faze has been able to get pretty good ground on rounds like this.
And again, Zachary still has that Rolling Thunder. He's got to stay alive. He's got to be able to provide value from that if they want to keep this site as theirs. There's that Rolling Thunder, but Sick once again on the swing, takes care of Baby Bay. The Blade Storm's offline. Dapper gets once as well. Sam's starting to stick the spike.
Oh my God,
Zachary
Dapper!
has to swing, and he doesn't have any choices. Raucous left alone in a 1v5, and it doesn't matter. The spike is diffused right out of under his nose. Sentinels absolutely extinguish the Smeeg. An impressive 2-0 win, and they're going to the grand finals.